Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hello there. Welcome back.
Welcome back, guys. So I put this survey up on Patreon. It's going to be up throughout the weekend. Everybody's welcome to go over and take a look and take part as well. Just wanted to know specifically, what's everybody looking for more of? What do you expect to see at Evolutionary that you're not going to get anywhere else? And, we want to, of course, always give our spin on things and our showing the spin that's out there and exposing it for what it is. But interesting, because right now it does seem that more of the hidden things being exposed is what people are looking for. And we're going to go down a somber road on this video to begin with.
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate, the thing we have going on today.
Well, it's what's happening is obvious. It's the exposing of the system. And you may be very familiar with Thomas Massie, representative from Kentucky. This is him with his wife, who is also the love of his life, literally his childhood sweetheart. They met when they were kids. And what we have right now is confirmation that his wife died suddenly. So a lot of people have died suddenly in recent times, let's just say. And we know a common reason why. And of course, feel free to share what you want to share. We all know every word, everything, every sentence is read, every word is noted. And when you look to Thomas Massie, he was as verbal, and hopefully he still will be, as verbal as possible on some key things that are very near and dear to all of us that would be watching this channel. Ending the Federal Reserve, stopping vaccine mandates, ending foreign influence from APAC. No reason's been given for the cause of her death. When I looked at her, to me, because, I'm an older guy, she looked young to me, but, certainly prime of life. You wouldn't expect to lose people like this on a regular basis, but it really is happening all the time. And you see, again, he's been so outspoken. It seems like this is a trait of Kentucky in so many ways, a trait of the South. There's a lot of people that have their opinions on this. This is, very, very a dangerous topic, so to speak. So here you have them letting Congress know.
We were all saddened to learn today of the passing of the spouse of one of our members, Thomas Massie, the gentleman from Kentucky. His wife, Rhonda, of many years, they were childhood sweethearts. She suddenly passed away yesterday. Mr. Massie had to drive home to Kentucky and be home with his family, which is where he is today. I would ask everybody in the chamber and everybody around the complex to please rise and observe a moment of silence and offer your prayers and thoughts and condolences for our good friend from Kentucky.
So, again, there's a lot of things we could take away from this, treading as carefully as I can. It's interesting. He's not the only congressman from Kentucky that lost his spouse in relatively recent times, what I would say way too early as well. As you had over here this is Representative Andy Barr, Republican from Kentucky. So with his wife, Eleanor, who she died, she was 39. This was in 2020. So this was in June 2020. Unexpected. They say that she had a natural condition, mitral valve prolapse, and that's what caused it. Maybe the two things are completely unrelated, besides the fact that these are people that lean a certain way from a certain state and maybe are a little bit outspoken. Again, it's just a sign of the times. You don't find a lot of information on Google. You might want to try Yandex again, because it's a search engine that is not, it's going to give you different options. It's going to give you different options than you're going to get from Google if you're in the U.S. And that agency, DARPA, there's a lot of information there about exactly the weaponry, which goes way back to, way back to 50 years ago, where they created weaponry that could mimic heart attacks. Not that we're saying that that's the case here. We're just making note that there's lots of ways, undesirables by beamed technology. Then again, there's that going on, and then there's that thing which more than half of the people of the planet have done and maybe regret again. Detox daily. Recognize that everybody is loaded with heavy metals, which are very, very toxic to our system. We're loaded with all sorts of toxins. It's just what this system that's in place has put into the environment. And so we are all under assault in one way or another. So we send our prayers and best wishes to Thomas Massie's family. And you can pray for her as well, because people, I know you guys probably understand from listening to Cindy explain it. When people do pass on, they could certainly benefit greatly from positive wishes, love, and prayers.
Mm-hmm. Well, the beautiful thing about energy is it goes beyond what we can see. So we can send those positive intentions for him and his family, which is definitely going to help in the matter quite a lot. Let's not forget, we are all energy workers to a very high degree, and that's one of the things the controllers really want to hide from us. And this is just so sad. I mean, high school sweethearts, and he was very outspoken, and this is just such a horrible thing. I hope he's able to continue on to help protect other people, because he does look like a good soul to me. He seems like he has good intentions and he's staying there, but something like this can really break a person. When it comes to trauma is it's what they use, I mean, if they don't take someone out directly, it's indirectly, and that really, really can crush the human soul and just make it so it doesn't want to get up and do anymore, and it causes damage to the mind, damage to the heart, and people just change. So I feel so sad for this whole family. She was so young, and I keep going back to the idea that they were high school sweethearts, and it was someone so very, very close to him. It's just unfortunate. I don't like to see these things happen. I don't like to see these things happen at all. I want to live in a world that's void of this, where people watch out for each other, not where people, attack each other.
No, it really is the fact that it's all kind of coming out now. Again, this is the president of El Salvador, who we've talked about multiple times, as he's, again, use your discernment with people. Anybody that's in a position of power, we have to really look at and question everything about them. But he has certainly cleaned up the crime and controlled the cartels. Here he is, and again, use discernment, because certainly a lot of times people start off apparently, doing good things, and end up becoming something else down the line. But at the same time, he's saying that the IRS and the whole concept that America is based on with its tax system are completely unnecessary, because the treasury bonds themselves are what end up creating the money flow, the monetary flow. This is excessive and completely unnecessary. There's no reason for an internal revenue service except for the fact that that internal revenue service is making it's revenue for the rich. And it's revenue, again, it's wealth for the elites and those in the clubs. And, this is just ridiculous. And he says still not too late to change this system. If the next president of the U.S. doesn't make the necessary policies and structural changes, sooner or later the bubble's going to burst, because everything about the way that our system has done it is it's a house of cards, and it's going to collapse when people know, or when there's viable alternatives. There's no more petrodollar, as Saudi Arabia has not renewed that agreement. And that's why the U.S. was able to do what it did economically. And so it's going to come crashing down so fast, so hard, it's going to look just like Argentina has, or Venezuela. So be prepared, guys. Again, this system takes advantage of all of us, and it's just founded on lies and illusions.
Mm-hmm. Get to a place where you're just not needing the system so much. Get to a place where you can get out of the way of the train, and hopefully in doing that, you'll be able to help some others that weren't so fortunate, and help some others get up out of the mud hole. And when society sees what happens on a very large scale, we will have many more people who look to see what we are talking about, and they can actually see it. And they're probably going to be very remorseful, wishing that they had done things differently. But that's where we get to step in, and we can help each other, and we can make the changes. In this, we have emergency officials have just issued a warning that the Lake Livingston Dam spillway is at risk for a potential failure. So, and this isn't the only dam either. There's a few more, and this is going on. And also, I was just reading someone, I don't think it was the Mississippi River, but it was another river that is potentially in danger of flooding again. So there
was the Mississippi, the Missouri.
Missouri. It was Missouri. Thanks.
Yeah,
I'm glad Mike is here, because I can't remember all of these things. But yeah, this is really, really odd. Where is this coming from? And there's these other dams. So this is quite dangerous, really. If these things break, there's going to be a lot of infrastructure. There's going to be a lot of problems go on here.
Yeah, this is, as Cindy was saying, this is not the only dam. As people are waking up to the weather control, it really, there's certain things that came through from the guides that really stick with me. And one of the things was how they said, it was kind of more the tone when Cindy was channeling them. Oh, you're going to know exactly how your controllers really behave. Yeah, it's the illusion that they're doing things for us, when no, it's never been for us. It's always been for them, and it's always been for the system that they serve. That illusion is going away. The future forecasters did a video yesterday, which really was one that I don't think people wanted to see. And I don't think that they got the, I'm hoping that what they saw wasn't simply because, well, let me share that they remote viewed 2050, and what they saw was, it sounded like everything right now today still happening. In 2050, I don't think that's going to be the case. I really don't. But what I think that they couldn't process is the split that's coming, because there is a split coming. And so what I think they were getting was perhaps people that are still in the system, because, yeah, if you stay in the system, then what we have going on is going to be what you got. It's the system. It's the way the system operates. So we certainly don't want that. No, we want to get outside of the system. We want to create something completely new. I don't think we can rehab it. We have to break it down into smaller pieces, one at a time. Here you have emergency people responding to vehicles on fire, explosions taking place, and a street takeover. About 500 people kind of going crazy in LA, setting fires, breaking things. Just, this is very, very Mad Max-ish, isn't it? What we're seeing going on, or maybe at this point in time, instead of outright Mad Max, it's more like Escape from New York and Escape from LA. And by the way, you got the same kind of thing going on over in New York. So there you go, New York and LA. There are some people maybe that are being called, their higher selves, to hang on and stay in these places and to hold light there in the belly of the beast system in the biggest cities in this country in this time. And that might be why they are there. Certainly, if you wanted to have a little more peace in your life, I don't think right now you'd want to be in New York or LA. That's just me, But then there are people that, hey, this is what I know. This is where I'm sticking. I mean, my mom would be there. I mean, we were very different. She was completely a city gal, and I am not. The average people here are picking up on things. This is the thing. The average people are saying, wait a minute, this is him in the debate last night. This is not him. This is not him. It looks somewhat like him, but it's not him. As he says, I'm extremely confused. Why does he look like, and he's being legit. This is what people slowly waking up looks like, where they all of a sudden are like, it's like all of a sudden the glasses, the scales have been taken away, or they're putting on, Rowdy Piper's They Live glasses and saying, holy crap, what really is going on here?
I know, once that realization hits you, it's like there's no going back. You can no longer unsee all the things that you have seen. You're just not going to go back. And I mean, you could try, but you're going to be going against the grain. You're going to be like nails on a chalkboard if you try to go back to sleep.
Here you have Colonel Douglas McGregor's calling for early elections. That's something that I don't think the U.S. has ever had. This is something that other countries do. I am not aware of any early elections that we've ever really had. We've had some interesting things throughout our history. That would be a first, but here you go. He's not fit to discharge the immense duties of the presidency. Well, maybe all 7 of them together, Maybe this is something to do in some ways with what Cliff High is getting. We've talked about that briefly before. We were listening to his video. We haven't listened really to Cliff himself in many years. Used to listen to him more, maybe like 5 years ago. But he's picking up on some anomalous event in the middle of July that will stay with us for the rest of the year. But it seems that what he's picking up on maybe more of a UFO ET disclosure. At least that's what it sounded like he was, thinking. But he said it's U.S. centered. So I wonder, stay with us through the end of the year. I mean, is it going to be something where, it's again, they want to create a civil war atmosphere. They want to create as much tension as possible. One of our family members and patrons, John, who's a patron at the highest level there, thank you, John, was sharing with us how he was kind of fearing for his life because his neighbor, all of a sudden, there was 2 words that got brought up, DT, yes, number 45, and it was like he was demonically possessed, and he had to break off and just not talk to him because he was so wound up. I think that has a lot to do with Mork from Ork. I really, really do. What is he talking about? Nanu. You remember that. Or the black goo from Prometheus. I do. I think this is part of that takeover of a different level. You could view it as demonic possession as well, because ultimately the sources are the same.
Well, I absolutely believe wholeheartedly that they send out these pulses through people, because I will get a few texts, of people that I know are very gifted but very sensitive, asking, hey, how are you feeling? What is going on? I'm feeling this. Is anybody else feeling that? And I think they are putting out waves. And if you're not stable and have a hold of yourself, or if you have any of the Mork from Orc situation going on in your body, you might not be able to hold stable. But we have to. I mean, we have to face this stuff. They're energy waves. They're very, they affect us to a very high degree, and we need to stay grounded. So if there's something going on in your life where you could easily spin out of control and lose your wits, don't. Just wait, sit on it, ground, hold your tongue, just wait. It's something that could very well be being done from the external, and this is deliberate, you guys. This is deliberate, and it's to hurt us, it's to harm us. So let's not let that happen. Sometimes you just don't know. You just simply don't know. But when you do know, when you know better, you do better. And I believe they're sending out waves. And, it's always good to practice self-control. There's no harm in it at all.
No, if we could only really see the debate for what it is, and maybe here you'd see something quite different than even this little funny view. We have to take a step back and recognize everything has been so manipulated. Here we have... they're basically saying Putin is warning us to prepare for the flu that's coming from the birds, and then they keep culling them. Why cull them? And so many people are questioning this more and more, because the whole reality is again built on a house of cards. Yeah, it's all been a complete illusion that they've been selling us, and the waking up is wonderful to see. We just have to keep working and doing our best to wake up as many as possible. But you see, that what I was getting at with John there was he really felt like his neighbor might take a swipe at him, because he was getting so incensed over this. And they usually have a very, very good, amicable friendship and relationship. But people are being purposely triggered is the big point. And this is old man culture, and nothing tickles me more than watching the birds come. We have a family of these guys that's actually living in one of our windows. Yeah, it's wonderful to see nature. And what's interesting too is the interaction that they have with us. They're so grateful. And we were watching the daddy proudly watching as the mother was showing the kids where to go and get food from the bird feeder. And then the kids were coming, and it's right in the window in the living room where we could see them. And it's interesting that the dogs, even when the dogs go straight up to the window and they're literally a foot away from the feeder, the birds know that they're not in danger.
Right. It was really, really quite adorable. I mean, looking at this world, we definitely have reasons to be angry. But as they're putting out these pulses, these waves, try not to strike when you're at your peak anger. That, for me in my life, that hasn't turned out very well. There's things that, yes, I should be angry about, but I probably should have went about it in a different way. So that's what I have learned. It's like when the water is boiling, you cannot see yourself. You wait till that water cools and you can see deeper into the situation, and you deal with it then.
Yeah, she turns green, and it's 115 pounds of terror. Yes, it would make you look like this. Whoa, oh, you do not want to see Cindy when she's green. Oh, actually, the kitty is looking at Birdie, and boy, does he have a one-track mind. Look at that. Hello. I can't believe he's right there on my house. We can make friends and we can change this system. Look at these guys. Instead of running away from the bear, they're making him PBJs. And they're telling him, don't you wait. You got to wait until I make it for you. Look, this is how we do it. And this other guy is, I don't know, he didn't card the bear. I don't know if that bear is old enough for that.
No, I know, this is really cute. The bear sits down and I know, they're just enjoying their friend, inviting him over and having a nice time and taking selfies as they should, and just treating it like another day where a bear is sitting at your table and giving it peanut butter sandwiches. I think it's adorable.
Well, yeah, maybe in some ways this is an analogy for when the Russians and the Chinese come. Again, everybody in this world has been manipulated by the system at some level or another. We are all refugees from other places, and we all can get along. The only reason is because that system that has been in control of the entirety of the planet, it's really an illusion, the separateness that's going on. Not that wars don't happen. Obviously they do happen, and they're very, very profitable, and they maintain the power structure, and they also feed many other industries. It's recognizing that all we have to do is not follow the system, and then we could all be sharing a picnic together.
Indeed.
Source bless. Namaste.
Namaste.